Hi everyone, this is the first video for the week 3 homework. Again, make sure you check and look for all the tabs at the bottom of the files. Make sure you get everything. The first part of this assignment isn't that bad. When you get around 7 and 13, those are when it's going to start taking a little bit more time. Let's start with exercise 1-B. What you need to do is foot and balance these accounts. And what that means is when you foot an account, you put a line below the last transaction, you put the word you put BAL, and then you put what the total amount is. In this case, we have 300 plus 250 gives 550. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we have 450 plus 350, which is 800, plus 150, which is 950. Oops, that should be foot instead of balance, because we're footing, we're not balancing right now. And then, since accounts payable is an asset, it has a normal balance of a credit. So we're going to put balance, and then we're going to take 950 minus 550, which is 400. So the balance in this account is 400. So that's all you would do for this problem. For problem B, this would actually be Roberto Alvarez. And so we're going to basically put the amount on the correct side of the T account. So we invested cash in the business of $6,000. Cash is an asset, so it is increased with a debit balance. So we're going to put $6,000. And then the other account we would use is capital. Since that is an owner's equity account, it is increased with a credit. So we're going to put $6,000 over there. Now we find out we purchased supplies for $1,200. Supplies is an asset, so again it's increased by a debit. And then we paid cash, so we need to decrease our credit account. And this is where a lot of students struggle. They're so used to using the term credit when they increase their account, checking account, savings account, whatnot. But in accounting, we increase with a debit in the cash account, and we decrease with a credit. So that's something you're going to have to try to remember. I know it's confusing and it can take a little bit, but you should be able to do it. If you remember, there is a debit credit chart in week 2 that you can print out and use when you're doing your homework. You can also make yourself a cheat sheet that lists which accounts are increased with a credit and which ones are increased with a debit. That way you have less to remember and you can still get the information correct. Now, the last transaction is we paid the utility bill. So we're going to decrease cash by $100, so we're going to credit it. And we're actually going to debit expenses. Expenses are a type of contra owner's equity account, which means it's increased with the opposite of what it normally would be. Owner's equity is normally increased with a credit. So for contra owner's equity accounts, it's going to be increased with a debit. The same is true for the owner's drawing account. So now we have to foot the account for cash. So that should be 2,100. So 1,200 plus 900 is 2,100. And then we're going to have to balance the account. So we're going to take 6,000 minus 2,100 gives us a balance of 3,900. And so now we're going to make sure that our accounts are sides balanced. So we're going to add our two asset accounts. So we have the cash plus supplies, gives us 5,100. Then we're going to take our 6,000 in capital, subtract our expenses, and so we end up at 5,100, same amount in both accounts. So that is how you do the first two problems for the week. If you have any questions, let me know.